Good evening, everyone. Everybody should have a pom-pom or two. Anybody need a pom-pom? Good, because tonight we're doing audience participation. Okay? So, we have a lot to cheer about. A lot of very good things have taken place in the last year. So I'm appreciative that all of you have showed up tonight for our annual State of the City address. This was delivered on Monday at the Chamber of Commerce luncheon, and the address will also be on City Cable and YouTube. So every time, the theme this year is touchdown. We've scored on a lot of things. A lot of good things have happened. So every time, now what's going on here? Now we're dead. So every time you see touchdown, this is what you have to do, okay? Woo! So you'll be prompted as we go through this, okay? So, touchdown, come on now. Welcome to the 2024 State of the City Address. I'm obviously your mayor, Ken Siver, and with us tonight, and sometimes the council can't always make it, so I'm very pleased to see the council here. So I will start with Councilwoman Coretta Hogue. Woo! Yes, absolutely. You can give them their kudos. Councilwoman Yolanda Haynes. Now I know somebody walked out. So Councilman Ari Mandelbaum. Oh. And Councilman Dan Brightwell in the back. Nancy, where are you? I couldn't see you. All right, Nancy Banks. And Charles Hicks is here, but I think he just walked out of the room. Okay. So, and then with us from the city staff is John McRena, our Deputy City Administrator, and Allison Bettis, our Deputy Treasurer, who also did a fabulous job for a year serving as acting city clerk. So we appreciate her. Okay. So this has been a great year. Oh, well, I was going to acknowledge him in the end. Okay. And my two office people. So this has been a great year for football. As you know, Southfield A&T are state champions, Division I. And our coach, Aaron Marshall, Coach of the Year. And quarterback, Isaiah Marshall, a nephew of the coach, Player of the Year. And then we had, of course, University of Michigan win the Rose Bowl. And the Lions did quite well, considering all things considered. And a couple of weeks from now, we have the NFL draft in Detroit, so we're thrilled with that. I was at a meeting this morning with the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and they're getting really geared up for the NFL draft. So,
Southfield A&T gets the ball back on the Belleville goal line, and Marshall fakes the handoff, and QB keeps his way right into the end zone after a two-point conversion. A&T's up by 4 with 47 seconds left in the game. Southfield A&T would end up upsetting the Tigers with a 36-32 win over Belleville. Coach Marshall was happy with the family his team showed all season long.
These young men play Little League together for the majority of them, and that really shows. They care about one another. You know, pregame, that's what we say.
Coach at Lawrence Tech, who is a former teacher, and very interested in the students being scholar athletes, not just great football players. And that was kind of the new direction that Lawrence Tech wanted to go. So we're looking forward to another great season when Lawrence Tech resumed football after 32 years. I mean, I'm not the biggest jock in the world, but I'll tell you, I was thrilled to have a college football team in this town. So they always do a great thing with homecoming, and they do a very good thing with a tailgating party. And the great thing is so many of the alumni come back and it's great to see them come back and see the changes in Southfield and how the university's improved and how things are going in this city. So I didn't want to be totally chauvinistic about this. So we do have the female LTU Blue Devils have done well this year. The girls basketball made it to the playoffs, and the lacrosse team won a national championship. So I've already introduced our team. It does take a team to kick off, to make everything go here. So you've met all of these people. Clerk Jackson is out of town tonight, and you know Mr. Lowen. We have a great administration. And our city administrator, Fred Zorn, who's led the city for, I think, 13, 14 years now, he is a whiz. I mean, he is just so, his knowledge base is so, I think we're very lucky to have him. And then right-hand man, John McRena, and our city attorney, Dawn, who's a pleasure to work with. It says Parks and Recreation, but it's Parks and Recreation Restoration, because our parks, our facilities have kind of aged out, and you know, they needed renewal, and we're spending millions of dollars on improving our parks. So just to do a quick rundown, the tennis courts at the Civic Center were in bad need. If you're a tennis player, they were cracked and really in dire need of replacement, so that's happened. The lighting in the parking lot was improved. We do a lot of things on the front lawn. We have a portable stage that's kind of seen its last leg, so the council approved the purchase of a new portable stage last year. It takes a while to get some of these things. Anyhow, knock on wood, it's coming in May, and you'll obviously will be using it for summer concerts. So Sims Park got a makeover, and trying to stay in tune with the times, we've added pickleball, and some of the courts are pickleball and basketball. They've got the double lines. We are encouraging everybody to walk, get out, get exercise. So we're adding pathways, and I'll talk more about this later, but both at Sims Park and Miller Park, there's now a walking path where there was none. And then we did landscaping and trees. Same thing at Miller Park. We cut the ribbon late last year. This is, the reason there's a touchdown here is because I think for 20 years, our residents have been asking for a dog park. And so we're going to have a dog park, and it's going to be at Losher Woods. It's kind of centrally located. That's at about 11 and a half in Losher, if you're not familiar with that. There'll be a small park or a small dog and a large dog. This is Losher Road. Stevenson School is down here. Lincolnshire is over here. And Bell Road over there. So anyhow, it'll be here with an enlarged parking lot. But as you note, this is a membership thing. You're going to get a fob. Your dog has to be licensed. It has to have its vaccinations. And we're also going to improve the walking path in this park because it is seen its day. So here's a we have a wonderful town-gown relationship with Lawrence Tech. And so this is a wonderful collaboration. Lawrence Tech gifted the city $2 million to redo our baseball field over in the corner here behind the ice arena. And they will use the park with the new dugouts, the new AstroTurf, the fence line, and so on. The girls' fast-pitch softball team will use that. Their season is April, or March and April. We will use it. Our teams will use it from May through the fall. So obviously, this is good for Southfield, and it really improves an aging facility. And again, it's part of that partnership with Lawrence Tech. A lot of people ask me, when is Carpenter Lake going to reopen? And if you ever went to Carpenter Lake, we always encourage you to walk the trail. But sometimes you're out in nature, but nature calls. You know what I mean? And so there's no restroom there. So we will have a restroom, and we have a shelter, and we've expanded the parking lot, and we hope to have all of this finished by July, and we'll have a new opening for Carpenter Lake. Boverick Woods down on 9 Mile and Evergreen. Last June and July, we had 2 wind shears come through the city, and below 9 Mile was hit the worst. Trees were not, few were uprooted, but many were just snapped in half. They came through my neighborhood. So Boverick Woods was pretty heavily hit, so we've cleaned out the dead and fallen trees. We've opened up the park, and this will eventually be our 9 Mile trailhead. We're working, and I'll talk more about that in a moment. We are in public safety, one of our favorite departments, and so our chief, you may not know this, but Chief Johnny Menifee was named Police or Fire Chief of the Year by the Great Lakes Division of the International Association of, and our police chief, Elvin Barron, was awarded the First Responder of the Year award by the VFW. So we're, Chief Menifee, with his connections, got us a grant, and we're starting to purchase in our subsidized senior housing, smart burners. House fires, there were about 145 in the last couple of years in Southfield. Almost every one of them was tied to a kitchen fire. People forget they've got something on the stove. And in some cases, the houses have been a total loss. In some cases, people have died in these house fires. So the smart burner turns itself off before something can combust. And this is particularly important. So we just finished Woodridge Apartments. We will be doing McDonald Tower and River Park Place. A little later, we'll talk about another senior housing project. We'll also have smart burners there. So we appreciate our Chief Menifee. You know, I don't get very many complaints about our police department, and because we have body cameras, and Chief Barron always plays, these people say, oh, the police officer was terrible. No, they weren't. Here's the body camera. They were polite, they were professional, and you were in the wrong. So at any rate, I always tell people that our police officers are human beings, and they put up with a lot. Sadly, the number one crime in this city is domestic violence. It happens almost every single day. Yesterday, it was a brother and sister going at it. The day before, it was a couple, and I could just go through it. And it's not all husband and wife or boyfriend, girlfriend. People cannot they have to learn to keep their hands off of one another. That violence is never the answer. We all know that. But some people have not got that message. Anyhow, our police department does and this isn't all of the things, they do a tremendous job of community policing. They show that they're human beings. They come out and they show up at everything. I've been here 57 years. I've gone through a whole litany of police chiefs. And Elvin Barron, I'm not criticizing any of his predecessors, but he is absolutely tops. He moved here. He shows up for everything. He's a community member, and that's very important. So, these are just some of the many things that our police department has done, and Lieutenant it's Beauty and the Beast. They're willing to do this stuff because, again, they're people. They want to be approachable, and obviously, we're not afraid of our police. Placemaking in public art. This city, after Northland opened in '54, there was migration coming after World War II, but things really took off when Northland opened and when Providence Hospital opened. We had an explosion of growth here, and then the freeways came through, and consequently, this city, growth years, boom years. In early '60s, Southfield was the fastest growing city in Michigan. And the civil engineers of the day, it was all about moving cars as fast as possible, make traffic move. When I moved here in 1967, there were times where you couldn't get around the city because there's so much road construction, and then they were adding all the right turn lanes. And so, and then we had neighborhoods built without sidewalks. And we had huge parking lots were overparked. We had large setbacks, and you put commercial here and you put residential there. And so what happens is it becomes very pedestrian unfriendly. And so what we've been working on for over a decade is to make Southfield more pedestrian friendly. And we're seeing the rewards of that. We see a lot of people walking their dogs, pushing a stroller, just out, as we've added 20 miles of pathways in the last 11 years, and more coming. But it's not just about pathways. You have to layer on points of interest. It's what makes a vibrant city. So we are creating public spaces that improve urban vitality. And I'm not going to read all of that, but placemaking is a multifaceted approach to planning, design, and management of public spaces. It's what makes our city more vibrant, more interesting. And so elements of urban vitality are benches, waste receptacles. We have birdhouses, dog feeding stations, wayfinding signage, solar lighting, trees, landscaping, sculpture, and so on. Bike repair, mile markers. We're encouraging this, and we've been rewarded by ARP, Michigan ARP, as an age-friendly community, and one of the reasons is because of our walkability. We've improved walkability in Southfield. So, and this brings me to a multi-jurisdictional project that we're working on. It's the 9 Mile, it's a rejuvenation of 9 Mile from I-75 in Hazel Park through Ferndale, through Oak Park, Southfield, Farmington Hills. And what's eventually going to happen, it's going to take a couple of years. You do it as you can find the funding, but eventually we're going to have a pathway that connects along 9 Mile from I-75 to 275. Along 275, there's a pathway that goes to northern Oakland County. And then we have the Detroit DeQuinder Cut that eventually is going to come up to 9 Mile, and we have the Joe Louis Greenway. So this is the master plan, and you can bike it, you can walk it, you can rollerblade it. But again, so this was the path we did 2 years ago. This is, the council has approved the engineering study, this being Greenfield, I should have backed up. Greenfield, Southfield Road, Evergreen, and Lasher. So this, the council just approved the engineering study for this. This was done last year. This is Bobrook Woods Park, and this is the stretch that's going to be done this year. This has been fully funded, and we're doing most of this with grants. Very little money is coming from the general fund. You know, we have extra money, we put it into roads. So, at any rate, a project that the Art Commission, the Friends of Southfield Public Arts have been working on is layering on art on 9 Mile. And so the Friends of Southfield Public Arts want a signature piece. And we're working with the owner of the 9 Mile Crossing building, which has also got the Kenmar on the top, Kenmar Corporation. We have commissioned world-renowned sculptor Sebastian. You can Google him. He's from Mexico City. Sculptor Sebastian, and you can see this man is a genius. He's now also an architect. And he is creating this piece for 9 Mile and Southfield Road. We are, none of this is being paid for with tax dollars. I just mailed another installment to Sebastian for $200,000, all grant and donated funds. We've had corporate support. Community Foundation of Southeastern Michigan has donated $50,000. So this is going to happen. It's being fabricated in Mexico City and will be brought here and assembled, hopefully by fall. So to give you a better look of this, again, it's called 9 Mile Crossing. And you'll be able to see this up and down Southfield Road as well as Northwestern Highway and 9 Mile. It will be lit at night. We are not doing this is the artist rendering, but we're not doing the water feature at the bottom. This is Michigan after all. The thing it'll be a beacon on 9 Mile. Our Art Commission chair is in the audience. I have Dolores Flagg. She's been helping lead this effort, and we're greatly appreciative of everything Dolores does for our city. So last year, again, layering on public art, layering on the elements of placemaking, the City Center Advisory Board purchased this sculpture on the monarch of the monarch butterfly. As you know, monarch butterflies' habitat has been reduced; they're threatened. So this is a statement that the City Center Advisory Board. Again, this is not done by tax dollars. The City Center Advisory Board now is doing phase 2, which is a butterfly garden. And this is outside of Eaton Corporation on Northwestern Highway. And the Eaton Corporation will water and will weed and maintain the garden. So we have a partnership going there as well. The Public Arts Commission and the City Center Advisory Board has just purchased 2 sculptures from the Norton Brothers Detroit Design Center. And the brothers will go at 9 Mile and Beach Road, will be part of our 9 Mile project. And the other, the key, will be on the campus of Lawrence Tech at the intersection of Northwestern and 10 Mile. the Friends of Southfield Public Arts, we had a $3 million makeover of Beechwood Center, got totally renewed, but it was a little, there was nothing on the walls. So we did a call for artists, muralists, and these are the winning entries. They're supposed to be installed any day now, and they're going in the upper, over the atrium. They are 8 feet by 21 feet, so it's a little hard to tell here how big they are, but they're going to really add to Beechwoods. So one of the things that is led by Dolores Flagg is every quarter we do, and please, if you haven't looked at Conversations in Fiber, is the current exhibition. There are pieces out there that, I mean, they're really, really striking. This particular one, the artist, this is depicting, remember in the Syrian conflict, the boy that tried to escape, 3 years old, and he drowned and he washes up on shore. That very, very sad thing. So this is a tribute to that 3-year-old, and it's really, really moving. This young man is Jonathan Harris. His mother died when, and this is, I'm just using these as examples. They're fabulous. We have a waiting list of people wanting to display every quarter in our lobby. Jonathan Harris, obviously he's back in the womb. His mother died at a very young age, and this is him emoting about losing his mother as a young man. Jonathan also wondered, obviously you can recognize that the Lorraine Motel and the assassination of Martin Luther King. Jonathan wondered, what if I had been there and taken the bullet? And so he puts himself, and you'll notice everything is in black and white, except Jonathan is in color. And he was trying to change, in this piece, he's changing the course of history. What would Martin Luther King have achieved had he not been assassinated? I mean, this is the kind of work that we're getting in the lobby that it's been a tremendous hit, and I encourage you, take a few minutes and look at what's out there. This display ends on April 30th, and then every quarter we feature different diversity of art and artists. May is Hebrew Heritage Month. We're doing Jewish artists in May. So we have a public art requirement. We don't expect a lot from building owners, but this is the new self-storage at 12 Mile in Southfield. It took down a 2-story empty office building that didn't even have an elevator. It was very nondescript brick block, or blocky brick structure. I can't get that out. Anyhow, so this is his second installation in Southfield. The owner is a developer by the name of Ed Hirsch. He happened to be come through Southfield schools. He was my student at Thompson years ago. I always knew he'd be a success. But he has a business on 8 Mile, and he put, kind of grumbling about this art requirement. So he bought from the Ann Arbor Art Prize, he bought the dragon, and he put it out, and he said, Ken, you wouldn't believe what a reward this has been. People go on 8 Mile, 50 miles an hour. They can fly right by his business, and then you got to turn around, try to find it, and all of that. He said, look for the dragon. And then people look at also, and the opposite is true, people that are not looking for his business, but see the dragon, and then they're doing business with him. He said, this has brought me so many customers. And his business, it's another storage place, totally filled. So anyhow, on that success, Ed, I'm not going to tell you how much this cost, but he far exceeded the requirement. This is, it's acrylic, and it's the, if you don't recognize it, it's the famous picture of the men, the steel iron workers on the top of 1933 on top of the Empire State Building, having lunch on a beam. Anyhow, what a statement. And obviously, look for the building with the men having lunch. So I mentioned our planner, or our fire chief and our police chief, but I also want to mention our planner, Terry Crode, who this year received the Distinguished Member of the Year Award by the Michigan chapter of Society of Landscape Architects. And a lot of this was because of his efforts for diversity, equity, and inclusion. And one of the things he does, and again, this is part of our partnership with Lawrence Tech, we've been running now for 3 years a summer week-long camp to expose kids, particularly minority kids, to a career in landscape architecture. There is a demand for this, and a lot of kids don't know that you can actually have a career in landscape architecture. And so we are running this again with planning department staff, LTU. There's scholarships for this. The kids stay in the dorm. Lawrence Tech feeds them. It's a beautiful thing. So if you know a high school student, here's an opportunity. I don't have the dates yet, but if you call the planning department, they will tell you. Business development. You know, it's we still don't know what's happening with all the offices, but we have people moving in here, believe it, you know. And right now, the planning department schedule, as the council will attest to, what do we have, 7 public hearings the other night? And there's more in the pipeline. So we're doing business. Southfield's open for business. So, of course, we've had some huge success. This is, you can really cheer this, Costco. This was 7 years of negotiation with Costco. And they were teetering between, well, should we go to the Armory site in Oak Park on the other side of Greenfield, or we should go to the Northland side, and back and forth. And then they had a change of leadership, and they weren't going to do business Costco's. And then they came back, and then COVID. And anyhow, we sometimes wondered, would this ever happen? But it happened. And we're very grateful that it happened. It's an anchor for Northland, but I don't want to diminish the fact that we're always looking for good markets and places for fresh fruit, vegetables. Tiger Market is with an Asian bent, but you can buy milk there, you can buy bread there, you can buy vegetables there. There's a variety of things. So that's on Northwestern Highway. But anyhow, back to Costco. So this is 7 o'clock in the morning, January 24th. And the door goes up. And this mob was out there waiting to get in at 7 a.m. I mean, I'm not too good at 7 a.m., but anyhow, and all these people got their cameras out. They're I mean, I love this. This guy is over the top. So, before I go on the next one, so how much business did Costco do on the first day? They racked up $800,000 in sales on the first day. And if you haven't been back, they're busy all the time. and they hired a whole bunch of Southfield people or local people. They brought in, and very telling, on the wall when you walk into Costco are pictures of longtime employees. And what does that tell you? In retail, there's always a lot of turnover, but this is a good company. And it's better than some of their competitors. I won't go there. But anyhow, they take care of their people. They have loyalty. So, here's another thing. The electric car business, as you know, is kind of sputtering. I believe we're going to get there once the infrastructure catches up, so there's more places to charge your vehicle. So Lucid Motors is coming to Southfield. They're across the street in Travelers Towers, taking 3,300 square feet of space. That's about 2 floors. And 262 jobs, and they are hiring. Maybe some of these people that are just being laid off from Ford might hop over to Lucid, I don't know. But I'm sitting in the front where the motor should have been. So, you talk about tailgating, well, you can front gate in a Lucid. And it's a beautiful car. It's expensive. Council awarded 3 liquor licenses. One of the things, we had a whole plan for increasing our population in 2020, and we had all this stuff planned to get out the count, and then COVID hit mid-March, and so we had to pivot. But we went out to apartment buildings with a food truck and a DJ. We were kind of like the Pied Piper. We brought people out, and sadly, a lot of apartment dwellers don't always fill out the census form. And anyhow, we increased our population in 2020 by 5,000 people. And that gave us a couple more liquor licenses. So the Edge River Barn that's been restored on 12 Mile, Fuddruckers across the street, and then Sweet Lily Mays, which was the old Magnolia's restaurant. All of these businesses are all working on implementing their liquor license. We also had a couple of other companies take significant space. This International Workplace, it's like a WeWork in the Onyx building. Bluestone Communications over by Lasher Road. We're getting more eateries. It's been a little hard for Culver's, but they finally have everything, I think, squared away. Some of you have been to Debo's restaurant. This is the same guys, graduated from Southfield High, that are opening for the older crowd. It'll have ballroom dancing. This is going to be a different thing. This is the old Paradise Lounge in the lower level of 10 Mile and Southfield. And then we have Culver's Express. So, and Baco is coming back. You hear all this press about how they're closing. They're actually going to close now. They've extended it until after the NFL draft, but they are closing. But they're doing a remake and a reimagining. Luciano Del Signore has been there for 22, 23 years, and he said it's time for a refresh. But I love Southfield. I love this location. He also owns Big Allura down the street. So he's not leaving. What he's doing is reimagining his space. This will probably be next year about this time before it reopens. It will be, there'll be dining there, but there'll also be the cigar club for those of you that enjoy them. Anyhow, he had kept this a secret, but told me last week that I could include it and announce this, so you're hearing it here. You haven't read it in the newspaper yet. And I know the Southfield Sun is in the house, so so you might want to do something about that. Anyhow, people have been asking, Bank of America really shrunk its presence in Southfield. And so what's happening with the buildings they've left behind? Well, two of them will be demolished. The one at Kroger, you can barely see it there, at Evergreen Plaza will be demolished, and it'll become the Kroger fuel station. A lot of people, including our councilwoman Hogue, loves her Kroger gas points. And it's a shame that she's had to drive to Livonia. So we're going to keep her in Southfield at that, right. So anyhow, the Bank of America building over at 9 Mile and Telegraph will become a car wash with charging stations, with a buff-out room, so you can make an appointment to have your car detailed there. It's not just a car wash. And they're going to do those membership things. Car washes there's a big increase in car washes, a lot of interest in that. Also, the Chevrolet dealership helped me. Maddox Chevrolet is doing a car wash at 12 Mile and Telegraph, and that one will be, it's not just for their customers, it will be open to the public. Maddox, yeah. Yeah, thank you. And this is not all. We're very glad to have Tim Hortons back at Evergreen and 12. These are other, Salt & Co. is in the Radisson Hotel on Telegraph. Savvy Sliders has been delayed, but they're coming. You saw the Bell Tire sign. They've moved in there. Epitech took a whole floor in Travelers Towers as well. Make-A-Wish and the Blind and Visually Impaired Foundation has moved across Civic Center Drive. We'll move on to, this is the second time this has happened. Now, I really want to hear some cheers on this. This, moneygeek.com has listed Southfield as the top city in the U.S. for the second time as a place for African American women to flourish financially. And in case you don't know, guys, our census reveals that there are more women in Southfield than men. So we're giving you a lot of opportunity here. So, we're very, very pleased with this honor. And, many of our small businesses are women-owned, African-American women-owned. So, and then our business accelerator, we're working with people, entrepreneurs that are just starting out at Lawrence Tech and the city and MEDC, the Economic Development Corporation, supports this. And they're moving out of the accelerator and into their own places. And a whole number of patents have been approved too. We want that talent to stay in Southfield. So, in other projects, this is 12 Mile and Northwestern. That corner is being redeveloped. There was a Kinko's there and several other things. Anyhow, that will be a new high-tech fueling station with the smart. I believe they're going to have the charging in the ground, so it's the car reads it's supposedly faster. I don't know a lot about it. You may remember we had the Sims warehouse on Telegraph for years, and then it became Kamau. Well, Kamau vacated it, so it's now occupied by McAllister Heavy-Duty Equipment Rentals. There's a market for this. And then, again, part of our 9 Mile recreation corridor, Skills Gymnastics Center. And again, this is a minority woman run business. and ground has been broken. This is, again, 9 Mile and Lasher. We want to talk about housing, and we will see the first apartments rented in late June, July at Northland. I was down the day I took this picture. They're hooking on the balconies on the side of the building right now. Somebody said to me, "I don't see too much happening at Northland." It's because they're inside. It's cold out. They're doing drywall and plumbing right now. Mostly the electric is in, but yeah, there are crews working there every day. The ground floor is all going to be, most of it is already pre-leased. It'll be neighborhood retail, neighborhood services, everything from phone store, bank, restaurant, that kind of thing. And that will be all on Greenfield. Also, you know, this has been long in coming, and I know I've had this in previous State of the City addresses, but I'm a big believer in adaptive reuse. As a society, we throw so much away. And that's what's happening at Northland. We're keeping the original mall because it is so well constructed. It would have cost us $20 million to clear the site. Why do that when we had an engineering study that said you could go up 7 stories on the original foundations. So why throw that away? So here are 2 schools. This is in Washington Heights, McKinley School. Work is moving right along on this project. This will be market rate condos in size from 950 square feet to 2,500. And then on the playground will be duplex condos, 2,200 square feet, and every unit, 40 units in all, every unit will have come with two-car garage. Then on the bottom is John Grace. We have 508 units of subsidized senior housing that the Southfield Nonprofit Neighborhood Association or Corporation runs. That corporation does not advertise subsidized senior housing at McDonald Tower, River Park Place, and Woodbridge because word of mouth is this is a great place to live. The units are all up to date, great activities for our seniors there, and they're safe. There are cameras in the halls and the parking lot and lobby and all of that. So we have a waiting list, about 1.5 years to get one of these apartments. And so this will be 60 more units at John Grace. And it's the school will get an elevator, as will this school. And over on the playfield will be a 2-story addition. And construction will begin in May. Construction is already underway at McKinley. So a couple of other housing projects. This has been delayed too, but it's coming along now. The Duns Scotus condominiums. I see the market for this. Some of our longtime residents who want to get out of the big house and don't want to do the yard anymore, these are going to have first floor masters. So we're expecting spring construction. We're always looking for creating affordable housing. So this is Telegraph Road over here. This is Garner Street. And this is 12 acres that have been cobbled together. And some really dilapidated houses that were in very poor condition are being torn down. And a lot of junk dumped on these properties as well. So we're beginning, this will be missing middle housing. Unfortunately, affordable housing today is over $200,000. So we're looking for housing that is more affordable. And it used to be affordable housing was under $100,000. It's just not true anymore. So this is going to take a few years, but the land has been acquired, the plan is there. Then we have this tremendous partnership with Habitat for Humanity, and this is affordable housing. Matter of fact, it's subsidized through grants and by Habitat, so that it's not free housing. Habitat's thing is it's a hand up, not a handout, but it's affordable. And these are so energy efficient. We have 6 more units coming. They're so energy efficient that the electric bill, it's all electric home, the electric bill is $30 a month for heat and light. You can't beat that. We've done Rock the Block for 9 years now, sometimes twice a year, so we've done about 15 Rock the Blocks. And these are aimed at some of our, particularly our elder folks, that we want people to age in place. But sometimes the yard, the repairs get overwhelming. So this Rock the Block program, we don't go into people's houses, but we'll fix gutters, we'll fix porch steps, clean the yard, put up fences, anything, and it's all done by volunteers that Rock the Block gets corporations to come in and volunteer for 2 days. So the next time is April 25th and 26th. You know, roads. We all hear about roads. We are so able to get grants for major streets, and most of our major roads, as you know, are in great shape. What's not are some of our neighborhood streets, and we're working on it. We have done tons, millions and millions of dollars in the neighborhoods, but 1 lane mile, I'm not talking one whole road, I'm talking 1 lane mile of concrete is over $1 million. So you can imagine, we had a $99 million bond issue for roads that passed in 2014. It's spent. We get Act 51 money from the state, which is supposed to be for local roads, except Act 51 is derived from 2 sources, the funding for Act 51. One is our car registration fees, and the other is our gas purchases. So what's happening to gas? People are driving less. We have electric cars, more fuel-efficient cars. So there's less money in the pot. And then a couple of years ago, I discovered that here, probably Oakland County, with over 1 million people, and all the roads that we have, we probably have more cars than any other county, maybe Wayne, but area-wise, Oakland is a bigger county. We probably have more cars, registrations, than any other county in the state of Michigan. And what I discovered in Act 51 is they take our money for every time we get a license tab, they take our money and they divide it by all 83 counties. So in other words, we are subsidizing other parts of the state. And if you've driven up north, you've seen some pretty nice roads. And a lot of them are 2 lanes. We don't have a lot of 2 lanes as major roads. So this is part of the rub. I have addressed this with our state legislature. I'm waiting for them to do something about this. They need to do something about Act 51. So if you happen to go to Jeremy Moss or Jason Hoskins' coffee hours, you might bring this up, because I know they're tired of hearing me. But we need more local road dollars. And last year, when they had a lot of ARP money from the pandemic, we did get $3.5 million. And again, what did I just tell you about lane miles? So we're working in Washington Heights. This neighborhood's going to get all new streets, all new water mains, and they have flooding in the neighborhood, stormwater flooding, so it's all going to be fixed. And then we're doing more water mains also in Cranbrook neighborhood this summer. And these are the road projects for the year. 12 Mile and Telegraph, be resurfaced, blacktop. Code House neighborhood, Foster Winter Drive, North Park Drive, 9 Mile between Evergreen and Lasher. And one of the ways we're stretching our money is, think at 9 Mile, Evergreen to Lasher. It's now 5 lanes. It's going down to 3. We're putting it on a road diet. Again, lane miles. And the amount of traffic doesn't justify a 5-lane road. We're also doing more pathways. Again, this is with grant money. The Beechwood pathway from 9 Mile to Shiawassee, 9 Mile from Prescott to Lasher, and then anybody live off Civic Center Drive, you know the pathway there has been in bad shape, so it's getting repaved this year. And the San Marino neighborhood was the last large subdivision. We still have people, believe it or not, across the city. At one time, it was about 600. The number has shrunk. They're not on city water. They're on well water. And we were recommending everybody get on city water. So we got a grant for San Marino neighborhood, and 99 homes got connected to city water. It was the last large neighborhood with had their own well. So all of this happens because we have a team. And this is where I wanted to mention my team members. First of all, I want to mention Michael Mannion. And Michael won us 2 national awards this year. One for the photo prize, and which we're looking for entries in photo prize till what date?
Submissions are open now until May 31st. So the Southfield photo contest, citysouth.com, and all information's on the city website.
Okay, and then he won a national prize for his branding guidelines. Yeah, so we congratulate Michael. Then 2 people that I stole from Southfield Public Schools because I work with them and keep me sane all the time and on track are, I want Beverly Astrop and Vicki Perry to stand. And I thank them all. I work very closely, obviously, with Michael. We're in constant contact. So this is our team. You know, and I just have to add one thing. Last week we had an all-staff meeting, and everybody was asked, you know, what's going on in your department. And I sat there and I just listened, and I thought, this is tremendous. Each piece is getting put together for all of us to keep Southfield a great place to live and to invest. That wraps up the 2024 State of the City. I always take audience